This presentation is starting. This is a picture of me and my 5 kids. This presentation is going to be about how to have 5 kids. It's going to be really graphic. Just checking to see if anyone's paying attention. Okay, it's not really going to be about that. But look, it's the end of the day, and Will asked me if I wanted to present. So I used to run customer success for G2, and so I like to help customers. So that's what this is about. And I was trying to understand who the audience was and how I could help. So what G2 is we're the world's largest B2B marketplace. So we've got 2.25 million reviews. So we exist to help people buy software and services. So I thought that I would just speak a little bit about how to do that. Does anyone here ever buy software? Services? Does anyone ever help to sell HubSpot? Yeah? Okay, so we can touch on that. But what I thought I would do is talk about a couple of stories of when I had to spend a whole bunch of money and how agonizing that was. And maybe you guys have a story or two as well. So I don't really buy a lot of software myself for G2. But a couple of times I did have to spend some money, and this is what I had to do. And so I thought I would talk you through this because I think every buyer, even when they're buying your software or service, they're going to have to go through this process. It's going to be a painful process. So I play the guitar, and a few years ago I got to buy like the last guitar I'll ever buy. It's a Taylor guitar. It's a Koa wood guitar, and it's a way nicer guitar than I'm good enough to play. But it looks really, really nice. And so there are some things about this guitar that are very, very special, right? So the action is low, which means you don't have to press very hard to fret it. It's very easy. Taylors are very reliable. It's an acoustic electric. You can hook it into an amp. It sounds wonderful. And then this Koa wood is made from these special Koa trees, which are really only grown in Hawaii, I think. And then the very interesting thing about the Koa wood guitar is they say the more you play, it opens up. It has less of a bright and more of a warm sound after you play it more and more and more. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to spend this much money on this guitar, I want to know what other people who have played it like actually say, because that's what Taylor's highly produced videos say, right? So I went to this website, musiciansfriend.com. This is a marketplace for musical supplies, just like G2 is the same thing for software. And so what I saw as soon as I got here, Jake, I'm going to ask you, if you look at this, can you name where my eyes probably went?
All the 5-star reviews.
All the 5-star reviews. It went there first. I was like, okay, people like this. But then maybe I would say the second place I went was flawed finish, right? So this is somebody bought this, and it wasn't perfect. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to get over that, this is not going to be perfect. I'm going to spend like thousands of dollars on this guitar. But if I didn't see this here, and then I can click it and I can read through, it brings me to like the review that talks about that, right? So here he is. He says, sounds wonderful, but the edges and the pick guard like were not perfect, but it's still fine. Buy it, right? So I needed to get through that. I need to digest that like there's going to be something wrong with this thing that I buy. I want to know that now so I can make a more informed decision and trust the people that I am buying it from. Okay? And this is a third-party review site. This is important to know when you're buying something because Musician Friend, they may have like an agreement with Taylor, but they sell like thousands of different brands of musical instrument, right? So they can't have a partnership with anybody. They're just in it for the buyer. They're in it to help people buy more musical supplies, right? Whereas when we had a deck built on our house to have our hundreds of children run around on, and I actually found like this pretty helpful. This Rock Solid Builders, the people that we paid to build the deck, but this is their site, right? So this is first party. So I learned a lot about what these different buyers did, and I saw their pictures, but I also know that like this guy is not going to put anything critical on his site. This is his brand, right? He's not going to let anything negative on there. So I kind of know what I'm getting into, right? So when you think about buying software, G2, we're a marketplace. We exist for commerce, right? We want a growing market, and the number one way to do that is to help the buyer. If the buyers find us valuable, then we will grow, right? And then that's the only way we'll be valuable to vendors like HubSpot. So I think it's important to know, like, when you are buying something, where are you researching? And then even like the directory, the place that you're looking, you know, what's in it for them, I should say. So I thought I would mention, you know, if you are coming to HubSpot, right? HubSpot's the #1 marketing automation software in our category. This is our grid, right? So there's a lot there, and I'm just talking about the Marketing Hub for a second, right? If I go to HubSpot's profile, then I can look at their reviews, right? And so my eyes go right to this. They've got a ton of 5-star reviews, but I'm actually going to go, like, as a buyer, I want to know, maybe this is just me, maybe this is a lot of buyers, I want to know what's the worst thing that could happen if I buy this software, because I'm going to spend a lot of money on it. And then can I get past that? You know, if I can get past that, then it's kind of like easy sailing after that. And I talk to a lot of people who like pay to have G2 help get their reviews and things like that, and even many that don't, right? You can get reviews for free. They're terrified of getting bad reviews. I was talking to a vendor this morning, and he said that, like, oh, it was actually a guy at an agency. He's like, I was helping my customer, and we got one bad review, and then the CEO was like, done. I'm not interested in doing this anymore. But your buyers, they want to see what is wrong and then digest it and then get past it. If you see a vendor that only has like 5-star everything, the trust factor goes down, right? And so when you come to G2 and you're researching any kind of software, then you can do that as well, right? You can see 5-star, 4-star. HubSpot has 3-star reviews, right? They've got some 2-star, they've got some 1-star. I probably shouldn't be talking about this here at Inbound, but this is how buyers buy. And you should, the more you accept that and then get past it and sell accordingly, then the more, you know, the better you're going to do. And even with, you know, 101 1-star reviews, they're still at the top of the market, right? And the one thing that I thought I would note for anyone who is like helping to sell HubSpot, you can come here when you're selling them against anybody else. You can see, okay, well, they're going to be great for small business, right? This almost looks like the same. We're just filtering to who are the small business buyers. It looks almost the same as the live grid. But then one of the things that I hear as I got to know the HubSpot ecosystem more is they want to sell more enterprise. And that's also the challenge when I talk to like very large marketing agencies. They say, I don't know if I can do HubSpot. Are they ready for the enterprise? So when you click on the enterprise grid, it might not be as drastic, but they're still the #1, right? They're still the most top end to the right, and they continue to rise into that area. So as you're talking to people about the software, like, it's worth coming here and showing this, because this is 10,000 reviews in their name that's backing this. It's got nothing to do with us. It's got everything to do with their customers. I thought I would share that, and I thought I would test, like, who has made a purchase, like a significant purchase, and you had to get over that, right? You had to get over, like, what might be wrong with this, and then can I get past that? Yeah. Oh, do you want to do you have a live mic?
Not recently, but I have.
You gotta tell a story.
Maybe something on Amazon, or I don't know.
Like big, like.
I bought a car recently.
That's a good one.
So reading about gas, reading about what I need to fix, if the car breaks down, how expensive it's going to be.
Yeah.
Definitely thought about it, but my wife had more say than I did. But overall, yeah, definitely take customer voice into the purchase.
For you or your wife, can you think of like the one thing that, like, you're going to bed the night before you go to the dealership, it's like that one thing that's gnawing at you? What was the worst thing you had to get over?
maintenance on the car, if it were to break down, how that would be more expensive than a different car. However, this car was safer than another car we might have bought. So
Okay.
balancing those trade-offs.
Okay. So you didn't like find a way to bite the bullet. You accepted like maintenance is going to suck for this car, but super safe and checks all these other boxes.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
took the good with the bad, but
Yeah.
the bad wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. Good stuff. What about you, Jack? I'm putting you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. Trying to think of something I purchased recently. I mean, Amazon comes to mind because I use Amazon almost daily. I live in Seattle, so they ship it, same day. But when I buy something that's new, like parts for my van, I'll look at the reviews because I have no idea where they're coming from, where they're sourced. Price is always an option, but I want to see what everybody said about it. Like this really cheap, thing I might buy, this part that doesn't have a name brand on it. Like, what are people saying? Is it going to break in a week, or is it going to last 6 months? And you can typically find in volumes number of reviews, like 500 reviews, and if it's up there and that it has some positive, some negative, then it feels more realistic, more authentic, and I feel more comfortable making the purchase.
And so the price point was important. Like as the price point went up, there's more gravity to the purchase. You need to do more research, is what I'm hearing you say as well.
Yeah, price point. I think I look for stuff that's more reasonably priced,
Sure.
on Amazon. But with price also, the quality could be compromised. So I want to read the reviews really closely to ensure that the quality's there, at least to going to meet the standards for what I need it for.
Yeah, cool. Do you guys have anyone who doesn't work for G2 and is not a plant in the office? in the audience have a story? Yeah, please.
So we recently bought a house, and I know it was not going to be my dream house because of the budget, but I just wanted to get out of paying rent.
Okay.
So one thing that I knew was I wasn't really happy about was so the stair had gaps in it, and I was pregnant at that time. I knew I was going to have a kid, so I was scared to death about those gaps. And
Wait, what? It had what in it?
those gaps in it. So it was not like the blocked stairs. They had it was like just planks with holes in the middle.
Yeah.
And even the railing had like huge gaps, so a kid would just be like more tempted to go in there. So that was one thing, and the other was the doors. They were just like too old and creaky. So the way we decided to kind of live with it is we knew that we were going to get some work done as soon as we moved in for the doors. We made that decision, but actually got the work done after 2 years.
Yeah.
And the stairs are still the same,
Yeah.
but my kid has learned to live with it. And we trained him rather than doing anything about the house. So, because the house is a black hole, that's what I've heard. And experience. So you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. But basically what we thought was the blocker in buying the house has not been so bad.
Yeah.
But we made like other improvements to kind of just live with it.
Let me ask you this. So did you work through a realtor to buy the house?
Yes.
So when you voiced that concern to the realtor, what did that person say? Like, how did he or she treat it? You know what I mean? Was it like, don't look there?
No,
it's actually not that bad?
Yeah, so actually our realtor was like, I'm not going to make any suggestions for you guys because you need to feel it. This is your first house. And if I say anything and then you regret that decision, I don't want you to blame me at the end of the day and say that, we bought the house because you influenced us. I'm just going to let you go in and feel whatever you want to feel. What he helped us with is like if we tell him that I think we need to get this work done, he would give us an estimate that if you're thinking of getting this upgrade, it would cost you that much.
Yeah.
So think of that as the overall cost of the house. So
That's cool.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it was great.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, thanks for sharing the story. Yeah. Anybody else? Well, look, then I'm going to wrap 10 minutes early. And yeah, go ahead, please.
So what does G2 really do? So do companies approach you to get customer reviews, or do you proactively just collect reviews for tech companies?
So G2, we've got how many products? 100,000 products or so on the site. Give or take, products and services, right? And so if your product or service is not there, you can add it for free. Just go to g2.com. I just do Control F add, and it'll take you to the link at the bottom. And then you can say lots of stuff about your product. You can list your pricing, you can put your logo, list your website, all that for free. Most importantly, you can get reviews for free, right? Now, we want the reviews to be pretty rich. If you compare it to the HubSpot directory, ours are going to be richer. We're going to invite you to say like what you did not like about it. So that's one thing. That's what we call the buyer side. That's for everyone who's coming to visit, and that's everything that you can do. And then obviously, if you go on contract, then we do things like we'll create a landing page for reviews. We'll back it with Amazon gift cards, basically to compensate people for giving reviews. We're not paying for good reviews, to be very clear, but like we want in-depth reviews, and it can take 8 minutes to do that, right? So you can earn $25 Amazon in 8 minutes. We found that's very helpful. We also do, we'll do charity-driven campaigns as well. That's what we do for the buyer. And then what we do for our marketing customers, our marketing and sales customers, is we do reverse IP lookup on everyone who's coming to visit. So we get about 80 million visitors a year coming to G2. We think that they're pretty bottom of funnel, because why else would you read software reviews? And so you can then use these very different nuanced buyer intent signals to run your ads, to make your BDR calls, to rate your inbound that's coming through. We create content every quarter with those grids on it, with hundreds of different data points that you can also use to fuel your marketing and sales efforts. So it's the buyer and the vendor side.
So if you want to kind of stand out from the competition, if you're probably like a newer company and you want that competitive analysis, G2 would be the place to be.
Yeah, and what we believe is the way you're going to stand out is let your customers do it for you. Just let them talk. Because like the two examples that I used, even the rock solid builders that was having all of his best customers, that's still better than having no customers, right? Like I'm talking to a lot of HubSpot implementers. Like I'm starting a new business at G2 that's just talking to implementers. And what I find is that a lot of partners, they know how to implement HubSpot. They don't know how to go to market themselves. And they start by just having a website and they say nice things about themselves. It's like, no one cares. Like people only care about what your customer says. And so that's where we try to jump in and help them right away. It's just email this link to your customers, get them to leave your review, send them to your website, and then send them here, right? Link them together. You can do that in a day for free.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Any other questions? All right, we'll wrap. Thanks, Emily.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.